and welcome to Onesies, a podcast of one season wonders and blunders. My name's Andrew.
And my name is Emily.
And I got COVID, and then my cat decided to bleed everywhere from a rare condition called pillowfoot. So I was too tired to watch Police Squad in color. So instead, this is a very special episode where we're just going to bullshit about media we've been consuming.
We love watching things and reading things and being consumers of media
on our Apple devices. This is also we could also just talk about Apple shit now.
Oh, well, you can talk because I don't know anything. You can just tell me what I should buy and then I'll buy it.
You have a newer iPad than I do.
Ooh. I love my iPad.
Did you install your update yet?
I installed one recently, but I don't know. It's not impacting me in any real way. So you tell me.
There's the new screen manager, stage manager you can try out if you want. It's optional.
Yeah, I don't think I want to try that. I like things the way they are.
You're a very conservative person.
I use yes, I'm very conservative. I use it to check my email and I use it to watch things. Especially when I'm at work, so I can pretend like I'm typing emails, but really I'm watching true crime or so.
What have you been watching?
What have I been watching? So, if we're gonna go from the bottom up, let's go from the bottom up. I've been watching a lot of YouTube scam baiting videos. I just subscribed to be a gold member of Scammer Payback. I love me some Pierogi. He's hilarious and wonderful. And I'm watching all the live streams and stuff. It's really dorky and super fun, to watch them fuck with people. I don't know. That's fun, right? People who are calling your elderly father and trying to scam him out of money.
I fully support.
Okay. And, there was a new episode of, the Trixie and Katya Wow World of Wonder web series, which is funny. I watch that every week. It was about going to the bathroom. They love talking about going to the bathroom. Apparently, a scene was shot of the Lucy and Ricky show, the movie, whatever that movie was, in the alley behind World of Wonder, and they both pissed back there. So that's pretty interesting.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice.
So they both
Aaron Sorkin. That would be cool.
They pissed on Nicole Kidman. What else? What have you been watching? Are you trying? And I've been watching a lot about the Danny Masterson trial. Do it.
So, back when Emily and I first met each other many years ago, for some reason, because she's a white girl in her
of a certain age.
Thank you. Of a certain age. She just loves Danny Masterson. And my response was, that dude's a fucking rapist. And she's like, he's so cute, or whatever the fuck you said. And
to be fair, this conversation never happened. This is a conversation you've had with other people the same age as me with the same thing. And it wasn't until recently that you discovered I had in the past a thing for Danny Masterson.
No, this is
never
99% real. Just totally real. You were just like, I just love that 70s show. It is the peak of comedy.
Oh, God. It was a pretty good show. I didn't mind it. I was in high school.
Oh, no.
I was a mere child.
I don't know. Topher Grace sucks. I mean, I don't know if he sucks as a person, but as an actor, he's less than one note.
Fair enough.
That stupid, the Dennis Quaid business one, in Good Company. I think that was the one that like just horrified me at him. And I was just like, I can't handle it. This is stupid. Why is he making it? And then he didn't make it. But
good.
He fizzled, but whatever. What have I been watching? So I have been watching. Oh God, we could just talk. Why didn't we just talk about Doctor Who?
Oh yeah, why didn't we just talk about Doctor Who?
Okay, so we're gonna talk about Doctor Who in a second.
Scratch everything. We're talking about Doctor Who. Okay.
Okay. Other than that, I don't know. No, we're gonna talk about Doctor Who.
Okay. I'm gonna have to pull this up. It was The Power of the Doctor, right?
The Power of the Doctor. 12 days ago.
Oh,
I watched it not knowing it had come out because my dad emailed me about it. And I was just like, why is he emailing me about a Doctor Who thing? Is it out? And it was out.
and you
And,
had sent me a message about Doctor Who, and I said, "What is it out?" And you're like, "It's out."
and so we all watched it, and I didn't read the article that he sent me, which undoubtedly gave away the twist ending.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna go from the first woman doctor to the first black doctor, what are you gonna do first? You're gonna bring back the most beloved white man that you can.
Oh, can you hear my heart beating?
I can.
About him. Oh,
it's the most desperate thing in the world, but you don't care.
Nope.
You're just like, ooh.
I love him. I love him to pieces. He was the reason I started watching Doctor Who in the first place.
Was he the reason that I started watching Doctor Who in the first place? Or I think I just gave in. My wife's friends wanted to. And of course, you talked to me about it, but, like.
Yeah, my opinion doesn't carry any weight.
Doctor Who, Danny Masterson.
Hey.
What else there?
Don't compare the two. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
But speaking of American Doctor Who, what's his face was in it, and I was just like, "Holy shit! They just did it!" Like
they just put him in. There's always been this question about whether. I mean, not there. I guess there hasn't always been the question of whether he was canonically the Doctor, because he was always the eighth Doctor. So, having Paul McGann back was great. I love him. Oh my god, he is a dream.
Hold on, let me actually bring up the synopsis of it.
Yeah, it's really complex. And
despite being a terrible finale for old girl,
I don't like the kind of most of the modern stories, because they are just, I mean, it's modern television, so they have to update it, but it's just too complex. I prefer the old kind of slow serial storytelling where the monsters are actually scary because they don't say much. And they have creepy music instead of just being like pew 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 pew.
Instead of doing an interstellar bullet train opening, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, so I don't know what the crossover between people who are interested in Automan, Police Squad, Free Spirit, Freaks and Geeks, Freaks and Geeks more than anything else.
Yeah.
And then what the hell did we watch? More Days. Is with Doctor Who. But really quick, what's happening is the current guy who's doing Doctor Who, Chris Chibnall, is done. And the guy who brought it back, right?
Russell T Davies, yep.
Russell T Davies is taking over after this.
As showrunner,
but it's also going to be at a multimedia conglomerate producing it with real money versus BBC money. And it will be airing on Disney Plus, which is a new twist. So this is the most exposure Doctor Who's ever had.
Yeah.
Which means they probably shouldn't fuck it up, which is why they brought back David Tennant and Catherine Tate. But speaking of fucking it up, some of the problem is that after Russell T Davies, who'd you have take over? Who was the dude who never
Steve
wanted
Moffat.
a female doctor?
Steve Moffat. I don't know.
Moffat never wanted a female doctor. So they did a female doctor, which pissed off
everybody in the world.
Everybody in the world except like women. Which is like 51% of the population and probably outsized in TV watching, but whatever. And then, well, problematically, they brought in a female doctor, but then they brought in Chris Chibnall, and he's not very good at all. But her companions were good. She's played by Jodie Whittaker, who's fine, but They then introduced Joe Martin as the fugitive doctor as a fuck you to white men because it's a black female doctor who's cooler than pretty much every other doctor ever.
She was pretty cool. I did like her. But I didn't. I thought that Jodie Whittaker was okay. I thought she was better than you thought. I think.
Okay,
I really liked her.
You really liked her?
Yeah.
Give me the list. Where is she? Do your Doctor Who's.
Total. Oh God. I mean, if you're gonna go that way, it's Pat Troughton.
No. The new ones. The ones I know. I don't know your business.
Jesus, you're such a dork. It would be David Tennant. It would be Chris Eccleston. It would be her. It would be what's his name, the Scottish guy, and then it would be Matt Smith.
Okay, so mine's basically the same, except I'd switch out Capaldi and her.
Okay.
So I might switch out her. I might like her more than Eccleston.
Really?
I don't like. I mean, I know he's got anxiety and things, and I'm sorry, dude, but I've always thought he's a little too broad. But he was better in Doctor Who than I thought he'd be. But I mean, David Tennant, that's also an unfair compare because David Tennant as Doctor Who is one of the, it's like fucking George Clooney on ER. You're just like, oh, this is the show.
Yeah. He was so perfect. Oh my God. I can't wait for him to come back with Donna.
In a year.
Oh, God. But still my beating heart.
It's going to be a long year.
And I can't wait. I can't wait to discover how they're going to have Donna come back after the way they ended it with her. I can't wait to... What?
I'm sorry, I'm still angry. You mean the way they ended it so poorly that they actually had her cameo at one point with him and her grandpa, like, looking at her wistfully going, wow, we really fucked her over, huh?
But she's happy, she's married, she's not rich, she's not whatever, she's just a regular person. It's fine. They did her dirty, but they did Billy
this
dirty.
Show,
Billy?
This is something...
What was her name? Billy?
Rose.
No, they did her dirty too, but Billy, the one they turned into a Cyberman at the end of Capaldi and
oh shit, is that what happened to Billy?
Yeah, she got turned into a Cyberman. Is that her name though? Billy?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the actress's name.
Yeah.
Or, their name. I don't know.
That's the character's name, I thought.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. They did her real dirty too, but Donna, I love Donna. She's like the ultimate companion.
This show treats its co-stars like it hates them. Like
it does. It really does. And it in some ways it makes the fans feel like the show treats the fans like it hates the fans too. Because I mean, I cannot tell you how much I cried when Donna, at the end of the episode where Donna has to get returned, not when she comes back for the cameo, but when she loses all of her memory of the Doctor and suddenly she turns into the same vapid, horrible person that she was when she started. The character arc is what I loved about her, and then they just like slammed it back. I'm so mad. I'm still so upset about it.
I was just thinking how dirty they did Freema.
Oh yeah.
But that was, they miss. Well, my favorite was that her first or second episode, she's like, dude, I can't just go everywhere you can. I'm black and I'm a woman.
Oh,
and
this is the Shakespeare episode. Yeah.
And he's like, it's fine. Nobody notices. And they finally addressed that in some other season. I think it was a Capaldi episode. Finally addressed that, but I remember that.
Yeah.
But she got done really dirty, and then she's intricately tied, of course, to Noel Clarke now.
Boo.
Rapist Noel Clarke.
And before that, the time we saw her before that, she had Hottie McDoctor Pants, Mr. Lucifer.
Yes.
And it was like, this is perfect. What? Oh no. Don't give me bad news about him.
No.
Okay.
Who's Hottie McDoctor Pants?
The doctor from the finale, her finale, the Tom Doctor who I have to Google. He's so handsome. And he's Lucifer. Thomas Milligan, played by some hottie who's Lucifer on the TV show Lucifer.
Oh, is that the dude who's Lucifer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they were like engaged to be married. Oh,
Oh,
no.
yeah.
No, that was on what's the sideshow? Torchwood.
Oh.
That was on Torchwood where she was like, I'm engaged, and she
I didn't know she was on Torchwood.
Yeah.
Torchwood, of course, has its problems too.
Oh, yeah.
John Barrymore. Not working out.
Barrowman. Tom Ellis is the actor. Tom Ellis, and he plays Tom Milligan. He's handsome, and I was rooting for him and her. And then suddenly she's with Noel Clarke. Boo.
Because we have to bring back Noel Clarke, who was useless the whole time.
I didn't mind the character, but I can't revisit it now. I can't revisit it.
So, but no, I mean, I'm like, what the hell were we? Where were we? We're still talking about Jodie Whittaker.
We're still talking about Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's okay, but like, she's not the Joe Martin. She's not an interesting cast. Tamsin Gregg as Doctor Who.
Oh, she's great. Yeah.
Right. Give me that.
Yeah.
Give me, do something with personality. Jodie Whittaker's the equivalent of Nicole Kidman as Doctor Who. She's a hour-long drama who's got some comedy under her experience as Doctor Who.
Yeah. No, Tamsin Gregg, you're right. I think she would be fantastic because she's funny, she's weird, she does comedy really well, but she also does drama. I think she would have been a great casting choice, but that's fine.
But she had, so the Whittaker had great companions the first few seasons, and they had a really cool like character arc because it became basically Quantum Leap though.
Mm-hmm.
They like jumped into Rosa Parks and shit, and it was just like, and then because they're British, they cast all the American Black people.
Yep.
With British or European Black people.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, guys, that's interesting. That's an interesting thing to do when doing a civil rights episode. It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
The patriarchy lives on at the BBC. But yeah, so they were really cool. Then John Bishop became the new companion, which they made a big deal out of, but he really never did shit.
He didn't really do anything. And again, I liked his character's arc, like trying to get back to date this woman, and he's really obsessed with the history of wherever the fuck he's from. And I liked that, but he didn't do shit. And that like trying to get back for the date thing was just belabored and
yeah. Well, the last season of the last full season of Doctor Who, because they did specials. So this Power of the Doctor is the third and last special with Jodie Whittaker. There was the first one I think was really good. The Christmas one with the Dalek was really good. The Sea Pirates one was supposed to be an homage to a 70s Doctor Who, and it was, I can't remember.
Can I tell you that I don't remember having seen this?
The Sea Pirates?
The Sea Pirates. Oh, no. Yes, I do. Okay, I do remember. Never mind.
But that did establish that companion, what's her name?
Mandeep Gill.
Yes.
Yasmin.
The companion who stuck with the female doctor is in love with her.
Yeah.
And told the doctor.
So can I tell you something about this? It's always so obvious. It doesn't need to be said. Like, it doesn't need to be said. I think what they did with, it's fine, but it's just bad storytelling, I think, to have somebody yearning that much so obviously for so long. And then, like, the big reveal is, oh my God, I'm in love with you. And it's like, yeah, we all know. Yeah, we all know. Like, it's so anticlimactic.
Well, I mean, speaking of anticlimactic, this, I will never forgive the show for not letting Peter Capaldi and the Master and Missy get together. Because Doctor Who's very weird about sex.
Yeah.
Very weird about sex. The Doctor is either asexual or Matt Smith and Alex Kingston screwed for 178 years straight in a micro universe. But they never, like, they had two fucking seasons about their marriage, but they always made clear they hadn't consummated it yet. And then they just waited till the end. And it was some weird thing. And then one of them dies or goes back in time. It was weird and silly and stupid. And they need to figure out why the Time Lords can't fuck.
So it is a television show for children.
Bullshit. This is a show for white people, possibly Southeast Asian people.
Okay.
Who speak English.
Probably South Asian, I think is what you meant, but yes.
Probably. Yes, I did. I was trying to be really
specific.
Really,
yeah.
Well, also very chill about it.
Okay.
And not like,
sorry.
Just say basically brown men who've moved to, or no, have not moved to, who are the children of people from other countries who moved to the UK and raise their sons to be nerds in the UK.
Yeah.
It's dudes, it's women, but it's women who have to exist in a toxic male fandom. And it's a really shitty toxic male fandom because it is supposed to be a kid's show.
Yeah.
But it's also not a kid's show.
Yeah. I mean, the old show, if you watch the older episodes.
The old show is
definitely for kids.
It was an afternoon serial.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah, I mean, you have Russell T Davies take it over in 2005. And of course, it's going to be injected with a little bit of sexuality because that's just kind of the stuff that he does. But you're right. They do kind of have a not very clear sexual direction for the Doctor. Right.
And it's like, it was particularly frustrating with the Alex Kingston thing because they just belabored it. And it was never clear Matt Smith had any affection for her. Right? Like, it was very weird. And anyway, they don't address in this last special, Mandip Gill gets nothing.
No.
She doesn't get a pat on the hand, doesn't get a dream or some shit. Nothing. Does she even get to say goodbye at the end?
I think she chooses not to. I think she knows exactly what's going to happen and she just kind of walks away. Like she doesn't walk away.
The support group thing. Yes, the support group thing. Oh,
that was a hacky thing.
Yep, that was hacky.
Who else was in that? So
Graham, which pissed me off because I'm like, first of all, don't bring back Graham without checking in with his son.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was dumb.
Right? That was dumb.
Yeah.
Ace and Tegan being there was a little weird because you're like, they got super fucked over.
Yeah.
They came back for this thing and they got super fucked over. But all of these specials filmed during Rona.
Yeah.
Which means you couldn't put too many of these people together probably. And you had to do stuff separately.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, there's this whole, with TV and movies right now, it's like, well, not movies, but like franchise entries. Is it fucked up because it's fucked up, or is it fucked up because it's Rona?
Yeah.
And it's like, with Doctor Who, of course, you can never tell because sometimes these Chris Chibnall episodes have been so obvious and he has just tanked them.
Yeah.
Incredibly. Yeah, I don't.
Oh. So Kate, the head of unit.
Yeah, she's there.
She's there. I did not realize she was a Redgrave. She's a Redgrave.
Kate's a Redgrave?
Yeah. The actress.
Well, yes, Gemma Redgrave of the Redgraves.
Of the Redgraves. Yeah, I didn't know that. She looks like it. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I had no clue. She's really good. But I loved the old companions. I loved that they had Ian Chesterton. I was so excited that they brought Ian back because he was like one of the first companions. Like first Doctor, first episode, he's there. It was amazing. I didn't like that they had whatever actor that they had portraying the first Doctor. I thought I don't know why. I saw an article like why Tom Baker wasn't in the new Doctor Who, and I didn't read it because I hadn't watched the episode yet. So I don't know why they didn't have Tom Baker. But I liked seeing all those old guys. That was cute.
They also did a sequence where the Doctor encounters her previous incarnations.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have some more cameos, and that's where what's his face?
Paul McGann and
Paul McGann shows up.
Colin Baker, Peter Davidson, Sylvester McCoy. That was cute. He was so cute. What a cute old man. I love him. I'm coming around to Sylvester McCoy as the Doctor. I hated the 80s episodes, but I'm coming around to it.
So what else? Sorry, I'm looking through the cast list real quick. My thing with that was, it was like, that's cool, but it feels incomplete. I felt like they needed to throw us somebody. They needed to throw us Capaldi.
You think so?
I think they needed to throw Eccleston.
Oh, well, right? Yeah.
They needed to throw somebody, not Tennant, of course, because that would have, but something to incorporate
the modern series, yeah.
And Jo Martin sort of does that, but she doesn't. That's like having John Hurt, right? Like that's your tack on Doctor and stuff like that. I thought they could have done something similar with the Master. That would have been cool, because I mean, at some point, all you really need for these special effects sequences is your fucking actor doing a recording in their bathroom on their phone, and you can fucking put it in.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I felt like, because then it just felt like they were sort of doing it. And it's like the Doctor support group, my issue with that was, it's implying that these are a bunch of people who are broken by their experience and need to talk about it years later. Now, some of the problem is the continuity of what Earth remembers about the Doctor in general often resets. Sometimes it's a plot point where the Doctor doesn't realize nobody fucking remembers him anymore. So that also doesn't make sense, that how would these people have done this? Like, did they put up a fucking police box somewhere? Is in London? They're like, so there's all sorts of things with that.
Yeah,
that I thought had issues. And then just
for me, the plot was just too convoluted. It was
convoluted, and it was like, what did it eventually get to? Like,
the Master was trying to do something with the Daleks and the Cybermen, and you're looking like you're shocked.
No, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, oh, that's right. Because I'm remembering that the first Dalek episode of the new series was the first great, I feel like that the end of the universe one was pretty good too. But like the Dalek episode was great. And then they've had waves of good and bad Dalek episodes, with some really good ones where they got the money out of BBC to do, Dalek invasions. And sometimes that was bad and sometimes it was good.
Yeah.
But the Daleks on this, like, they made a big deal about how all of the Doctor's enemies are coming to get her. And it's just like shoehorned in.
They've done it too many times. They've done that too many times. They've done it
too many times. There's no continuity between it. It's like, how do the Daleks at one point
coming back? They just keep coming back.
And you're like, I can't remember. Did they destroy Gallifrey? What's the situation with Gallifrey right now? Like post Flux, they needed to recap Flux. Yeah, we didn't get around to Flux. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
Flux was the last full season, but it was supposed to be more like the old serials, except it was going to be longer episodes, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Pretty bad. So it was just like, let's just go out on a fucking bad note, right? Like, ooh. And that's where Dan, the new companion, started and never could get his foothold in, because it was just bad.
It was bad.
And were the Daleks in that?
I don't remember.
I can't remember if the Daleks showed.
I think they were. They were like in between two universes, trying to take advantage. Ugh.
Anyway, so they've got to. I don't know. I feel like this doesn't do a good job summing up Jodie Whittaker's thing. It does some decent nods to Doctor history. Right.
Yeah.
Not my doctor history because they didn't get what's her face back. The Girl Who Waited,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is the, you know, for people who don't understand what Doctor Who the title is, that's your first thing to learn with Doctor Who. It's exactly as basic as you think it is.
Yeah, it really is. Um,
It's so but yeah, they introduced a whole supporting cast in Flux, and they bring one of them back for this, sort of, just to throw him in, and you're just like, couldn't Chris Chibnall? Does Chris Chibnall's ego not allow a co-writer?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I was excited for the change because of my feelings about Matt Smith and his doctordom. But I really didn't like Peter Capaldi
Mm.
either. I mean, I didn't not like him, but the stories just weren't great. I didn't like his like rock star thing, like fuck the guitar, like put the guitar away. I hated that shit. It was so hacky and so dumb, and it's like you can have a different personality with like without having like props. Like it's fine. Um sorry. Um but some of the stories were good, and I like that they brought back different aliens. The what are the lizard people? Those ones were good, especially when they turned good guys, like the lady in London who was fighting crime in Victorian London.
Yeah.
Those ladies were great. And whatever. I just didn't really care for it. So I was excited for a change with Chris Chibnall, and I was kind of excited for for most of the tenure of Jodie Whittaker as a doctor, they were one-off episodes. So you could watch an episode and it didn't necessarily carry through. I loved that because Steve Moffat fucking sucked at making every little detail relevant somehow to the end of the episode. And if you're not paying attention and you're not constantly speculating online, about what your theories are about why the doctor is alive, even though he was shot in the head, like whatever. It was so stupid. And all the minutia just got to me. Talk about the toxic fandom. I mean, you would go online and people would just be trashing you if you didn't absolutely love the minutia of it. Because, when you're a nerd about something, you're going to be a nerd about it. And that's fine. I appreciate it. But you can't shit on other people if they're not as nerdy as you. Right. So I watch Doctor Who because it's fun. I don't watch it to like deeply analyze the culture around me. And, like if there's some of that in there, then that's great. But ultimately, like I want to be able to walk into the kitchen and get something to drink and come back and not have missed like key details that are going to spoil the ending for me, So I was excited, but he was a little disappointing. The storytelling wasn't that great. And if I can be honest, I barely remember what happened because there was still the complexity of the kind of 13 episode arc in every individual episode, including this one. I mean, I didn't understand. I didn't understand why they had to travel back and forth in time. Like
they're going back and forth in time. They got different teams working.
Why was the master Rasputin? Like, why was that important? It was cool. Don't get me wrong. But why was that important? Why did he have to control the Russian royal family? Like, I don't understand. Again, it was fucking badass, but I don't get it.
Was he always Rasputin? I don't think there's any. That's just why he's there.
He is a great master too, by the way. I like what's her name, but that played Missy before, and I love John Sim. He was great, and the old masters are good too. But he's really great at just being like maniacal.
Yeah, he's good at being maniacal, but I think it runs into it being a little broad for me.
Oh, gotcha. When he turned into the doctor and was like,
that was great.
When he was like, he looked like a little rent boy. Like his hair was all like spiky.
He's a he's done some edgy Hamlet, right?
Yeah.
But Jodie Whittaker does British soccer mom shows. So there's no like acting
Yeah.
spark between them.
Yeah.
And like that's what Capaldi and Missy had. That's what John Sim and Tennant had. Like, it's just, there just wasn't, I was waiting for some like master doctor chemistry, and there's just no villain energy between the two of them.
Yeah. Oh wow, there were many more masters than I remember. Michelle Gomez, that's right, that's her
Yeah,
name.
Michelle Gomez.
I kept forgetting. And I forgot that Derek Jacobi played played the master with Doctor Who. He was
super obvious reveal.
Oh yeah, super obvious reveal, but he was fucking brilliant. He was so good. We all saw it coming, but I didn't care at that point. It was like, oh my god.
So what else? I mean, there's like miniature things and I don't know, other things.
Lots of special effects that are boring to me now.
Well, the problem with the special effects is they're not very good.
Yeah.
And so there's when they started doing the show, they at least had like, they tried with so the new show started in 2005 and TV CGI was pretty bad until, I don't know, 2012, 2013. And so like it just never had a sufficient budget.
Yeah. But I didn't mind it. I mean,
I tried differently and harder back then.
Yeah.
Like, this is very by the numbers, which is just weird. Especially after the big promise of all the villains coming together for some.
But it's happened so many times.
When did they come? Did they come together They came together to kill Matt Smith.
They came together for David Tennant, that whole episode, where the Cybermen are like pressing themselves into the reality of Earth, and then the Daleks are somehow there too.
Yeah.
He's fighting both of them.
On Earth, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they came after Matt Smith. I can't remember if they all came for Peter Capaldi. I can't remember any.
I have no memory of those years. I can barely remember specific episodes. There was one about a dinosaur in London.
There was one where they were fucking up human history or something, like in a war, plague with the British, like pre-Britain British.
I don't remember that one. Yeah. Jeez, I should rewatch.
So, yeah, before you can't, because,
Because what?
Doctor Who hits somebody else.
Oh.
Yeah. Presumably, my only thing about this bringing now, we actually have to wrap up now. We're on a timeline.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we gotta, closing things up now in our very informal, but wait, we're just gonna talk about Doctor Who, you nerds, episode. I'm really worried about how they're going to transition from Tennant to the new Doctor.
Yeah.
Because this is a big cop-out for the first Black Doctor.
So I would be, except I trust Russell.
You trust Russell T. Davies.
I trust Russell T. Davies to make it the transition smooth. And the next episode doesn't have a title yet. So I can't see if he is directing it, right? As well as producing the first episode. Well, he's writing it for sure. And he might have some help, but I trust his ability to do that because he is a white man, but he's queer, and he really does, I think, to at least try to bring in multicultural elements to his stories, previous shows that he's done. He didn't there wasn't a lot of people of color in his first run of Doctor Who besides like Mickey and his family. And that was just his grandmother. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with it, and where he goes with it. But I do trust that it'll be a smooth transition.
The timing of this is there are going to be 3 specials next fall 2023. And then basically the New Year's Day special is going to
Mm.
introduce the new Doctor. And then presumably a new season will start in 2024.
Yeah.
But that timing has not been revealed. But they finally have presumably real money behind it and things like that. And the power of the mouse.
Yeah.
But I think I'm more concerned that how do you go from David Tennant? How do you try to bring this to Disney Plus viewers with David Tennant and then transition to the new guy while also having the blowback that is inevitably going to like
maybe they'll coincide it with like a new Wakanda movie, or I don't know. Like I seriously, like maybe it'll be like a whole new round of programming that they'll have, because they've been doing a lot of the I haven't watched Andor, but there's a lot of multicultural casting and stuff on the Star Wars shows.
I'm not
But like
I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about just
the blowback of having a new Doctor in general.
Well, right.
Okay.
If you make this new audience, sure, there will be some people who watch Doctor Who on Disney Plus for the first time. If you make that new audience fall in love with David Tennant and Catherine Tate,
which they will,
how do you transition that without there being resentment?
Fair enough.
How do you transition that without them not just going back and watching the old ones, which then sets them on, 10 years, 15 years behind where they need to be for the new ones? You can binge all of Doctor Who in a summer, that's what we did, but that's not what everybody's going to do. No, not everybody's going to stick around for all the David Tennant stuff. Somebody's finally going to be like, what the fuck is the deal with this Rose chick? I do not care. Make it stop. Whatever, please. You love Rose. Oh my God, really?
I do. I love Rose.
Oh God. Okay.
You're just classist. You don't like because she's poor or something.
Oh, was she in a TV movie with Danny Masterson or something?
No, she's great. Rose is great.
She had some good episodes, but with some caveats. There's always caveats with
There's always caveats. Yeah. That's not perfect.
That's what I actually don't understand about this show's longevity and popularity. Everybody has this with this fucking show.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of anything where people have more, just like a combination of blaseness, some active resentment, because you can actively resent it for including women and people of color, but you can also actively resent it for shoving all of the companions into a refrigerator. Like, it's just very weird. It's very weird how.
And the writing, even like within one showrunner series, is so up and down.
Yeah.
It's so up and down. There's some really, really bad David Tennant episodes. The one where they're trying to fight aliens. It's like a group of humans on Earth trying to fight aliens, and the one girl is like in love with the tall guy who loves ELO, and then she gets turned into cement or something. Do you remember this? I don't know. It was so stupid. It was such a bad episode. Well, but that's the same season, I think, as the Don't Blink, which is
but that's
fucking
like
phenomenal.
An outlier for Moffat.
That's true.
That's a big outlier, because that was his first episode, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's going to be great."
Well, and he did the first episode with River Song too, and it was a fucking great episode. It was scary and whatever. It was so good.
The other thing about Doctor Who, and this will be my final point, is that I don't know if they continue doing this. Doctor Who does this thing where it rips off popular culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't remember a specific example. Well, I can, except there are better ones, but there is an episode that is literally Star Trek V. Except it's the devil.
Yeah.
They put the devil at the heart of a planet, and then they locked him there, and he wants out. Yeah. And he needs a starship, and Captain Kirk and David Tennant save the day.
Yeah.
They straight up 100% did that episode. I think they did like Superman 4 with nuclear weapons or something. Like there's something else that they've also done. But they do these really obvious things, and you're just like, are they just doing Star Wars episode 9 or whatever, 7 or whatever? Yes, they are. And you're like, doesn't anybody mind? And I guess no.
No.
And that's very interesting to me because it's basically Mad Magazine as a TV show.
Well, with that, I guess we'll wrap up. Thank you for listening to us talk inanely about Doctor Who for almost an hour. Next week, we will be back with episode 5 of Police.
Sure, I don't know. How do you want to? Episode 5 of
the next episode of Police Squad.
It's episode 5. We're
okay
in the back half.
So thank you for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye.